A new modern bus terminus in the heart of St. George's stands as a testimony to the growth of the transportation system in Grenada. Hello, I am Ruth Roberts, and this is the program Development in Your Area. Today we take a look at the Melville Street Bus Terminus, housing more than 900 buses, managed and operated by the Grenada Ports Authority.
I think we can say that the St. George's Bus Terminus, which since inception has been operated and administrated by the Ports Authority, represents a significant development in the logistics and transport system of the country. If you may recall where we have come from, at one point in time, the Market Square, at one point in time, buses or stops on certain streets within the city, and then they moved down to the tunnel end of the Esplanade. This is the first time in the history of the transport system in Grenada that all buses that are operating to and from St. George's are literally under one roof. We were quite surprised at the numbers because, in fact, in the 8 zones that are operating from the St. George's Bus Terminus, you are dealing with over 700 buses. Amazingly, we were also very surprised to discover that in the course of any given day, there will be over 6,000 to 7,000 people using those buses and doing so twice a day, sometimes 3 times. So that in effect, you are moving 12,000 souls a day. And that number rises at certain peak periods, say just before Carnival, around Intercol, and around Christmas. Those numbers can reach up to 15,000 souls a day. So we are dealing with a significant volume of activity. We are dealing with a significant input. In other words, transportation, in fact, is the oil or the grease that lubricates the entire economy. It is also the first time, by the way, that people needing to use the bus can wait for the bus without getting wet. As you would see, in the terminus, you have the northbound and the southbound platforms, and they are covered. You are not going to get wet, or you don't have to rush into the bus to protect yourself from the elements. Interestingly, because of the extent of the covered area of the bus stop, of the bus terminus, there are people who are moving in from the city, from Melville Street, to shelter when it rains. So that in a large way, we are providing a significant public good free for everybody.
The bus terminal is larger. Over in the Market Square, it was more ram cram and everything. So, I rather right here.
Better movement of buses, yeah, because in the Market Square, you see people go in and get the bus in the back, and then you can see like they go, but when they're in the terminal, you see everybody actually get people to go it. So I find it's better here.
It's a turn system, so you have to wait your turn. It's not where everybody heckling everybody, you come. You wait on your turn to go, you know? So I think in that way, it's a more organized way, but the wardens, I say, have to do a more efficient job by seeing that the people don't take it when it's not a turn.
Inside the terminal now, everything goes in a rotation. First bus come, then the people take the first bus, and they go to the various destinations.
Everybody getting a fair share. In the market, as everyone knows, it was who could hustle the most will survive. But right now, it is more spread widely across, so therefore, what you may say, the more favorite or the less favorite buses can still earn a living out of it. So this is a good, I must say.
traditionally, the buses used to be in the market square. And what we realized is that the vending in the market was expanding. More and more people were coming, and it was becoming very congested, having the buses and having the persons moving around. Realizing also that the market square was deteriorating and we needed to do a facelift to really change it. Government felt that we had to relocate the buses, and this is how the idea of the buses going to the new bus terminus. That cost millions of dollars to build that new bus terminus, but I believe in the long run we will benefit tremendously. It is more organized. When you travel along Melville Street, you would see all the persons standing waiting for the buses, and we are trying to operate in terms of what happens within the other Caribbean islands, what happens internationally. So as people come to a destination, as they visit, they can go, they can stand, and the numbers are there. They tell you where it's done. You have people who are calling the buses, so it's done in a more organized way. As minister responsible for transport, I have been meeting with the bus associations, and they have some concerns, and like any new initiative, it takes a while to develop. It's work in progress. It's never completed. They may tell you that there is not enough space, people will say, for the buses, because more and more buses are being bought and they need a place to go. But what I'm saying is we have started it, and it is great for Grenada. There is more organization, there is more discipline. We have put toilet facilities. It's managed by the Port Authority. There is security. So it means that we are way ahead than we were 10 years ago in terms of the transportation issue here in the town. And as you know, that this is just one phase of what has to be done, because in St. Andrews again, they will be looking at the whole issue of transportation. So it's a very holistic way of development. It's not only developing one part and forgetting the other, or one part of the country and forgetting the other. What we want to do is to develop the country holistically. We understand that, I know, with proper transportation, it increases the commerce in the country, that people would travel later in the evening time, people wanting to go to school at university like St. George's University, knowing that the transportation is there, it gives them the opportunity. So if you live in St. Andrews, you can come to town. Just last week, I heard the buses, one of the association was given a schedule as to the days that they travel on holidays and on Sundays and stuff like that, which is great. And in the evening time, because more and more people would move around if they can get transportation. Not everyone has their own transportation. And the other thing is that a lot of people would come to town if they know they can just come and move around, because parking is a nightmare, and therefore you would prefer, it's good to take the regular transportation, the buses, once they are reliable. So I know that Mr. Ambrose and his team are trying, the management of the bus terminus is trying to improve all the time. They will have some problems, but all of this can be worked out with dialogue, and I think this is what it's doing. And as minister responsible for transport, I am always engaging the bus association. I'm always speaking with Mr. Ambrose to see how best we can resolve it. But at the end of the day, this new bus terminus have done wonders for the transportation industry on the island.
You see, everybody could eat our food, you understand what I'm saying? Whereas in certain ways, the hustlers, like, yours surely, a couple of, you understand, we up and only why someone getting it at all, you understand? So the terminal coming away like it's sharing food for everybody, you understand what I'm saying? Because the operation now, everybody getting one at a time, you understand? They can't feed at all, you understand what I'm saying? So really and truly, if nothing else, that's what I really appreciate about the terminus, really, you understand?
The discipline, first bus system, nobody breaking the rules, nobody can misbehave, and the guy is one guy who like to hustle a lot. Like to make our money for the boss and make sure everything all right. But the discipline thing is good. We save a little gas, we save everything, and everything nice. You know what I mean? I love it. I just love the discipline.
Yeah, that's a good thing for all of us here. You know what I mean? But one thing is here, you cannot sleep, but still we stick in, work in this, right? We have to make it possible still, yeah? Yes. We got fight, man. Yeah, I tell you now. We got fight, man. We got fight.
Terminal system controlling the buses is a good system, right? The bus are more organized, but still, although they are good to it, there are still some upsides.
And I think the terminal is a great idea because you give people opportunity to, help themselves, and at the same time offer the service and goods.
for probably the first time, you have an organized system where buses are paying on entry, they are paying per use, and I think it is correct to say that we have achieved a greater degree of order and discipline. I don't think it is 100% yet to where we would like to see it, but it is a far cry. It's a far cry from where we have come from, and I believe that the only way for us is to improve. In the future, we're going to face certain capacity constraints. You may recall that originally it was intended that the upper deck of the facility be used for car parking purposes. That is out of the question. We have looked at the possibility of putting a second deck onto that, because when we started in December 05, we had on record about 575 buses. The last count late last year, we had 710 buses. So that there is growth in the transportation industry, and we are going to, within probably 5 to 7 years, we are going to outgrow that facility, and therefore we need to look in terms of future growth, future development. For people who have just come back to Grenada after having been abroad for a very long time, I can tell you that they are significantly impressed with the operation of the St. George's Bus Terminus. It is a true grand and central station in the country. And not only that, but the location of the bus terminus has changed the economics of the city. You may recall that prior to this bus terminus being there, that part of Melville Street, right up to the fish market and the meat market, was dead. Now the whole place is being rejuvenated. It has changed the economics, it has changed the social life in St. George's as well. In that, I have noticed that the St. George's Bus Terminus is one of the biggest rendezvous points in the country. Pick up, drop off. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. Personally, what I would like to see is an expansion of the service time, in terms of how late can you get a bus. Given that the facility is there around the clock, I would like to see a round-the-clock service developing so that people can leave, say, south, leave the tourist belt and get home to Sauteurs, get home to Grenville, certainly up to at least midnight each night. And the final point that I would want to make about the St. George's Bus Terminus and its operation is that this is a significant example, and probably singular in this respect, of a public-private partnership. What do I mean by that? The bus terminus is owned and operated by the Ports Authority, which in itself is a state-owned body. But each bus is owned by an individual private operator. And the 700 of the bus operators and the Ports Authority have to work in collaboration with each other. So it's a positive, it's a major plus.
Well, out here is very nice, and I love it to the fullest, and it's not necessarily report.
For me, I think it's a better setting comparing to the last terminal, because we have plenty more rooms, and the surrounding is much better, more space, you can move about.
The good thing about it is that when you drop on the terminal, you have access to the buses right there and then. You haven't got a problem, and even doesn't even know where to go. The wardens and them, they are very cooperative. It's very good. When the rain is falling, you don't have to pick up anything and run.
It was a good move to put the terminal here. It's nice, having all the buses. And it's much easier, more better for everyone, and And I like it over here.
Upon entering the bus terminus, a bus is scanned at the entrance from the readers, which are up on top of the poles. It proceeds along to the drop-off bay, where the passengers are dropped off, and from that point on, it proceeds to the back of the bus terminus, which is the queuing section, or you call it the queue bay. Okay, where the bus itself waits in a line system, zone by zone, to await its turn to go onto the loading bay to pick up passengers. All right, when the turn comes up, the bus proceeds along to the loading bay, picks up passengers, and exit the bus terminus, where it is also scanned, stating that the bus has left the bus terminus. If by chance there's no room in the queue bay at the back, the bus is told to proceed along
to the waiting bay, which is at the upstairs of the bus terminus, where it is also scanned and placed into another waiting queue itself until there's any indication from the system or any individual warden that they could come back downstairs to join the waiting queue for them to go on to the loading bay.
This is where we come to the end of our program for today, taking a look at the Melville Street Bus Terminus. Please join us again next time, because the next developmental project we will be looking at might be in your area.